Hi, good morning, and welcome to the Celebration Space. My name is Kaylee Phelps, and today we're talking about 5 tricks I have to organize your inbox for email. I think that email is something that, as far as technology goes, can bring a lot of stress to our lives, and even just opening your email inbox or thinking about it, I know throughout the years has given me a lot of anxiety as far as walking into the office or just logging on from home. So I wanted to give a couple of tricks that I have. Most of my tricks are really Gmail and Outlook focused, since those are the 2 main email sources that I have used over the last 5 years. So I hope that if you have email or Gmail, or Outlook, you might learn some new things today. And if you have any other email service, most of them have a lot of the same features, but there are some unique kind of twists and turns there. So feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below as we go. But I want to start with trick number 1, which is don't be afraid to hit trash, hit delete, and also unenroll yourself. So one of my favorite things, I have some notes over here, is I did something called unroll.me. So it's just, the website is unroll, UNROLL.me. And it's going to show you all of your subscriptions that your email is attached to. And from that site, just from that list, it will let you choose what you want to keep and what you don't. So it's really going to clear out your clutter. It's really going to help you as far as how much intake you're going to be getting, so that you are not organizing quite as much stuff that's in your inbox, as long as you're taking things out of it. If that sounds like it's a totally free service, I haven't gotten any spam from it. The whole point of the service is to decrease the number of emails that you're receiving, so it would be pretty silly if they actually sold your email to other places. So I feel that it's really safe. It's done some really great things for me, but if for you, you're like a little bit sketched out by the idea of signing up your email or connecting your email to something like that, just take a day and block off an hour and go through all of the emails in your inbox and one by one unsubscribe them. You might have to just block an hour on your calendar, or for a couple of weeks, just dedicate a little bit more time to your inbox and just kind of actually go through. Don't just hit delete and let all of those subscriptions continue piling in. And then also, if you're at a business email, or you're working on something, if you work in a project management system, maybe it's, Microsoft Outlook system, Project Manager, or you work in Basecamp or another project management system, a lot of those project management systems send you alerts and notifications all the time. Don't feel like, if you have that tab open of that project manager and you're getting those alerts there, or you already have your project on your to-do list, unless it's new information, if it's overlapping information, then just delete it and get it out, and maybe update your subscription to those notifications in your project management system. Any newsletters from work, unless you're a person that's on the marketing team and you have to archive all of the newsletters, a lot of the things in emails that we receive can be accessed through other ways. So I get a daily newsletter, and if I wanted to completely wipe that out of my inbox, I could actually go to their website every day and just read the newsletter on their website rather than receiving the email. So just keep that in mind as you're trying to just, first of all, decrease the number of emails that are coming in to your inbox in the first place. And also keep in mind that your trash usually keeps things for about 30 days. So if you are really nervous to delete something, just look at, normally there's a setting at the top of your trash inbox, and it'll say, hey, we're gonna keep all of these emails here, and they will be permanently deleted after 30 days. So you kind of have some buffer time to recover an email if you get nervous about it. From there, the emails that are remaining after you do that little cleanse of your clutter, you're gonna need folders and you're gonna need systems. And I don't care if this is a personal email or a professional email, but if you aren't already using folders and you're just kind of have like a million emails in your inbox, one of my dear friends, she had 800 emails in her inbox. Some were read, some were unread, and she had no folder system whatsoever. So I went in and helped her, and this is something I think is vital to everyone. You should have big groups and then subgroups underneath it. So for me, I typically liked to have a clients folder, and then each client name had a folder underneath it. So I worked with a lot of the same clients. So if you're a little bit, maybe that stresses you out because you work in a contract basis and you're like, hey, I'm working with this organization from in the fall, but then in the spring it's a different contract. I kept all of that same information in the same folder, and then you could see it by date. I could filter it by date, but you could also make clients 2020 folder and then zip it up, and then you could have clients 2021 folder and start another thing with that. I would do that with events, where I would have my 2020 event, almost a calendar, and I would actually organize it by date. So I could see chronologically what events I was working on, and then put all of the things that were going on in those, and then I could zip it up and always have it for reference, and then I could start working on 2021. So when you're handling a lot of different things, even if you're managing people, what I would do is I would have a folder called team, and then I would have the name of each person I was managing underneath there. So any emails I got from them, any escalations with their clients, any meeting documents that I got from them, any performance reviews, I would put them in under their folder. And also in Gmail and G Suite, you also have Google Drive, so you can also save and organize different documents through Google Drive, and that's a more permanent way to save them rather than just having them floating away around in your inbox. So other things for personal emails, I have like an accounts and rewards folder. So if I get accounts or rewards, or I'm getting, my Petco, like I'm getting a free $5 thing, I can kind of keep an eye on that there. I have apartment and car, so I have those two grouped together. So any emails I get from my email complex or about my car or maintenance, I put those all in one place. I have, what else do I have? I have family, finance, health, professional, travel, and Tyler has his own little folder. And all of these, a really great thing too is that, especially in Gmail, you can double tag things. So things like when I pay my health insurance bill, I'll tag it in both health and finance, so that if I'm looking for it later, I can find it in both of those folders with both of those tags. So those are ways that you can do it. Also, if you're working for a company and you don't have maybe clients or a team, something else you can do is you can organize things by project. Or another thing I always did was just have company names. So like, let's say you're working for company A, and underneath that I would have folders for paycheck stubs. So whenever I would get an email that I was paid, I would have an email or a folder for HR. So whenever I got emails from HR, and then just, miscellaneous announcements, so that if you have anything coming in company-wide, you can put that away over here, because those are types of things that you wouldn't want to delete outright. So those are those things. And like I said, this doesn't have to be perfect. You should be able to find the emails that you're looking for and have them in a system that works for you. So maybe just, set an alert for 6 months later and just be like, hey, this is really working for me now. But if you're working on different projects, you start managing people, doing different things, just be really open to revising your folders and all of those projects, and you can totally do that. I promise it's easy. If you have any questions on setting up folders, that's my jam. I'm happy to help you. So now that you have cleared your clutter, you know where things go, you have to set important things away from the rest of your things. So if you're like me, your inbox might be kind of like your to-do list, where you have people that you need to respond to things. You might have projects that are outstanding, and you might have things that you have sent out into the world and you're waiting for people to respond back to you. Or maybe for me in my personal inbox, if I buy something and there's like a shipping receipt and I'm waiting on something, I'll often star it in my Gmail so that it goes into a special star folder. So that's something that in Gmail is really helpful. You can star emails and they'll go into a special place. And it's like, I think it's like inbox, sent, and then starred is the next little folder that they automatically set up for you. And if you're in Outlook, you can also pin email. So it will take it to the very top of either your inbox or whatever folder you put it in. So if you wanted to make a folder just for to-do items or outstanding projects and just kind of keep that up at the top of your list. You could even set things aside within that folder by pinning them and making them go right to the top. So those are a couple of different ways that you can separate your inbox or separate your folders so that there are things that if you need to be able to access them really quickly and you don't want them to get lost in the sauce, you can star them on Gmail or you can pin them on Outlook. So along with that, I want you to be aware of some really special features that make life easier in both of these systems. So in Outlook on the web version, there is the option to like emails. So I love this feature. I use this on my last 2 teams that I was working on, so you don't get stuck in the roundabout like thank you of being in a big email chain. If you receive an email, just to notify the sender that you received it, you can like the email. But last I checked, last I was really working heavily in Outlook, the like feature was only available in the web version, so if you opened up in your web browser rather than the app version. So just keep in mind that if your boss maybe is working in the app version and you're working in the web and you've been liking his emails rather than responding and saying received or thank you or whatever, just making sure that you're on the same page about what resources that you're using and what features are available in them. So I hope that Outlook has updated the web version so that you can like it there, or the app version, excuse me, so that you can like emails there, because I thought that was a really, really cool feature. And then you also have in Gmail, it's built in other systems that you can work with as far as if you're working with a CRM, a client relationship manager, or something that's working with your inbox. You can normally track clicks or send emails or track emails. But Gmail has actually already set up something where you can send emails and schedule them so that they're sent at delayed times. So this is really helpful for protecting your boundaries. And if you're catching up on emails at 6 in the morning or 9 at night, you can schedule an email to send out at an appropriate time during business hours. So people don't expect you to send them emails at 6 a.m. or 9 at night. You can really protect your boundaries in that way. Also, another really cool thing with Gmail that I've done is that I think I have 4 different aliases with my personal Gmail. I have my personal Gmail, I have my business Gmail, I have a really old AOL account, I have my Loyola University Chicago account. All of those go into the same inbox, and I can use my aliases to respond to any emails that come into that inbox from any of those email addresses. So it's really easy for me to do that. And all of my Gmail, I'm logged into those accounts all at the same time, and I can switch really seamlessly between those in the mobile app and on the computer. So you can definitely import different emails to different systems like Outlook or Yahoo or AOL or any of those systems. But I know in Gmail it's super, super easy, and they make it really seamless for you so that it feels like all of your emails are coming to one place and you can respond to any of them at one time. So if you want to kind of streamline and you have a bunch of different email addresses that you're not ready to let go of, that's another option to look into on Gmail. I can definitely help you, so let me know. And if you're on Outlook, you might want to look at a couple different help articles, because I'm not as proficient in how to combine aliases in Outlook. So that is most of what I have. I have one last tip. So just to kind of cover what we talked about unsubscribing and trashing things, getting clutter out. We've talked about organizing in folders. We've talked about taking the important things and separating them from the rest so that they don't get lost in the sauce of your inbox. And then we talked about important features to make your life easier, whether you're working and you're scheduling emails or you are liking emails so you're not adding to the inbox clutter of other people. And lastly, I want to just give some tips for time management and being intentional about your email. I talked about how I removed email notifications with 6 other social media apps last week. So my email is one of my things that I don't have notifications coming to my phone. So when I log into my email, it's because I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try to touch each of my emails once. So by trying to touch an email once, that means you're gonna open it and you're gonna respond to it and you're gonna file it away, or you're gonna star it, or you're gonna pin it in that moment. So you're only touching it once. You're not opening and closing it a million times. If you've ever been in sales and marketing, you've probably seen the email trackers where you can see people opening an email 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 times, and they're going in and out. That means they're spending a lot of the day in their inbox with that tab open, and they're also opening that email multiple times, and maybe are opening it when they're distracted or doing different things rather than just touching it once and getting it out of their the forefront of their mind. So trying to be really intentional about when you open your inbox and responding to things right when you're in there. If you have a ton of email traffic on certain days or times, or maybe every single day, blocking your calendar to have that intentional time. When I was managing a team of part-time employees that were all over the Midwest, there were over 100 of them, and on Monday mornings, I could leave on Friday and have an empty inbox, and I would get over 100 emails over the weekend, every single weekend, because they would run events, and I would get all of their event reports, and I would have to read all of them. So I would block my calendar every single Monday morning for 2 hours just to dedicate time to sitting down in my inbox with my coffee and really just looking at things, taking notes, starring things, pinning things, making sure that anything I had to follow up on, I took care of in that moment so that I was ready for the rest of my week, any follow-ups and any meetings. I had a 2 p.m. meeting every Monday just to review how the events from the weekend went from my team, so I had to make sure that I was up to date on that. So don't let someone else gobble up time on your calendar when you know that you need dedicated time to take care of things. Something I also like to do is set a time in the morning to check my email, and then set a time around 3:30 or 4 p.m. just to wrap up emails, so that during the middle of the day, if you have meetings or you have projects, you don't have your email open all day and you're popping in and out of it distracted during your meetings or while you're trying to work on a project, when really, if you just have dedicated set aside time, you'll get a lot more done, and you won't be touching that email 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in one day. So, and also, if you're worried about closing your email or not checking your email or not being available, make sure that you have information in your email signature that's going to be helpful if someone needs to get a hold of you quickly. So making sure that you have your phone number or a meeting scheduling link, I think, is really helpful, so that if someone really needs to talk to you, they can put time on your calendar or call you and leave you a voicemail, so that you know, like, I don't have to have my email open all day. You don't have to be, have it attached to your hip. It's not life or death situations. Make sure that people can get a hold of you in other ways, and that your email signature has that information for them and is in every single email reply, not just your first email, so that people have to scroll all the way down and try to find your email signature from the initial email that you sent them. And again, just really setting boundaries around when you respond to emails and how you respond to them. Most email was designed so that it was a faster way of, sending a telegraph or sending snail mail. It was not originally designed to be instant messaging. That's why we have tools like Slack or different like GChat, all of those things. If you have people that are trying to get a hold of you urgently through your email, making sure that, again, they have those resources to hear from you. But again, just knowing that you don't have to respond within the hour, especially if other people are copied on the email. Close out of your email if you have other things you need to do, and really just come back to it at dedicated times when you can take care of it, and try to let that anxiety of responding quickly go. That's something that I set really poor boundaries with my clients my first year working with event clients, where I would respond as quickly as possible, and then my clients would get really upset or worried about me if I didn't respond within 2 hours, and they would be like, oh my gosh, is Kaylee okay? Like, are you all right? I haven't heard from you in 24 hours. When typically a response time, you should really let people have about 24 hours to respond to your email. And if it's something more urgent, sending something in the subject line that says urgent in all caps, or in Outlook, something that's really cool is you can set the urgency of high, medium, or low so that it organizes in their inbox in a different way. So that's another tool that you can use to really keep things organized and set your boundaries. I also think rather than saying, hey, I'm so sorry for my delayed response, saying, hey, thank you for your patience, so that you're really honoring your own time and honoring theirs as well, rather than setting the expectation that you're always on your email at the drop of a hat. And again, that's also really important around those scheduled emails. Like I talked about earlier, don't respond to people at 10 p.m. at night, and then when they expect you to respond at 10 p.m. at night when they send you an email at 8 p.m., that's just going to set really difficult boundaries for you in the future. And lastly, just don't forget to check your spam every once in a while. I usually try to check mine at least a couple times a week, but just making sure that anything that's coming into you is not getting lost in that spam folder. So just setting an alarm or setting a reminder on your calendar to check your spam every once in a while is also a good idea to have a healthy, organized, and balanced inbox. So I hope that this was helpful as far as, we'll recap again, unsubscribing and trashing things. Check out unroll.me. It's really, really helpful. Setting up folders and being flexible with your systems to make sure that they're working for you no matter how your inbox is shifting with your roles and responsibilities, personal or professional. Setting important things away from the rest and making sure that they make it onto a separate to-do list or they're organized in your inbox by being starred or pinned, depending on your preferences and depending on what type of service that you're using. Then using important features to try to streamline things as far as scheduling emails, combining your inbox with other email services, or just liking emails rather than responding thank you and adding to someone else's inbox. And lastly, being really intentional about your boundaries and about when you're checking in your email, trying to only touch things once and making sure that you are respecting your time and energy rather than always being involved in your inbox 24/7 or during the 8 hours of your workday. So I hope this was helpful and that it helps you in organizing your inbox. If you have any other tips or tricks, or maybe on Yahoo or AOL or any other, service that I didn't really cover as much today, if you have any questions about Gmail in particular, that is really my strong suit. If you have Outlook questions, I do have a remaining Outlook email through my school email, so I do pop in and out of there every once in a while just to check in and stay aware of their features. So I'm happy to help you there too. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have some inbox calm after this, and until next time, enjoy celebrating today.